Hey guys, Kurt from Time Machine Transport, just in the office today. Like showing you guys our place. I don't mind if you guys see where we live or what we do. But anyways, I'm doing this video on. If I can get this camera set up, I got to get a tripod one of these days. But anyways, I was clipped my eye at the shop yesterday. Anyways, so going over. Why are governors and mayors not worried about re-election for this whole virus smokescreen? Anyways, I brought up a map on the computer, and before I go out to the shop, I figured I'd do a quick. Well, I don't know if it's gonna be quick, but anyways, so there's a few questions. There's a lot of questions I have. But politically, and I'm not a political, know-it-all at all. I mean, I barely even brush on it. But a lot of things make sense to me. So when you think about all this stuff, why are and I'm doing this video because a buddy of mine said he hadn't seen. I had mentioned it in another video of mine, but he had said that I didn't even hear that part. So I'm doing the video for him. Also, I got into kind of I wouldn't say a confrontation, but I rarely go on Facebook, and if I do, it's always in spurts. I mean, it'd be months before I go on Facebook, and then all of a sudden I'll, go on there in little spurts. But I had a little conversation with a buddy I was stationed with, and everybody who knows I'm former military, served my time in a combat unit. So, anyways, so you have to ask yourself a logical question. Why are these governors and mayors not worried about re-election? They can't be worried about re-election for everything that's going on. Especially if you talk about Governor Cuomo in New York and Bill de Blasio, the dirtbag mayor they have. But all the states have closed down on the first wave, and then except South Dakota. And now they say, and I know I'm kicking the can down the road just like everybody else is, but how is it that they're going to close this whole thing? And I, if you subscribe to my channel, I drive semi. I'm coast to coast pretty much. So I see a lot of this stuff going on around the country. And now more and more reports are coming out, and New Mexico, masks required throughout the whole state. PA is saying masks required throughout the state, inside and out. Now, I don't understand how. I mean, they say you can be warned for your first time caught without a mask, and then there's a fine afterwards. Well, it's not a crime to not wear a mask. In order to commit a crime, you have to violate a statute. Well, there is no statute on wearing masks, so it's not a crime. You could take it to court and fight it. Who knows what may or may not happen, but still, don't wear a mask. This is about control and about, I don't want to say slavery, but back in the day they said that slaves wore masks, whatever. But so I see a lot of this stuff going on around the country. Now they're starting to close down things gradually again. We live in Wisconsin. My wife's in RN here in Kenosha, Wisconsin, where we live. And I don't care. My real name is Kurt Sabella. You can go ahead and Google it. Google my shop. I don't give a shit. It don't matter to me. I'm very transparent. So in Wisconsin, we have Governor Evers, and our Supreme Court here, our highest court here, we had won the case that the state had to reopen, a few months ago. So that was awesome for Wisconsin. Now, like I said, in order to commit a crime, you have to violate a statute. Well, there is no statute on masks, so I don't know how they can reinforce it, and I don't know any really cops that would reinforce it. So let's talk about what the video is entitled, and it's why governors and mayors are not worried about re-election. They can't be. I'm sure every governor and every mayor has some sort of assistant that knows a lot about politics and is supposedly in it for their best, is the mayor or the governor's assistant to obviously for their best interest. So when you shut down states, you close businesses, you threaten to ticket people that don't wear masks, you enforce you say masks are required. Do you think that when you come up for re-election that people this isn't going to stick in people's throats and stick in their minds and say there's no way I'm going to vote for this person? So and I thought that and this is kind of informative for me as well, because I was under the assumption that governors could only and I thought mayors as well. And I'm not really sure how that runs for mayors, but we'll check it out. So I always thought that governors could only run for a 2-year term like the president of the United States. But the guy that we rent our shop from out in Burlington, he's an ex-chopper pilot. He's a good dude. He had said no. He said they can run for as many terms as they want, or serve as many terms as they want, as long as they're reelected, obviously, right? But that's not the truth either. When I looked at this map, there are some states you can only do 2 terms, and some have no limit. So he was right, I was right, whatever. It's not about right and wrong. But anyways, so when you think about it, these mayors and governors are committing political suicide by shutting down everything. And whether this thing is real or not, this is still going to affect people's way of voting. So that tells me, and it should tell you, that there won't be a re-election for governors. Or they may go through the motions of re-election, but it's not going to happen. Because who would vote again for a person that bankrupted their business, they lost their job, they got evicted from their home, from their apartment, they lost their home, they're forced to wear masks, they're forced to stand on an X on the floor 6 foot away, so on and so on and so on. Why would you vote for that person again? You wouldn't. So again, that tells me, and it should tell you, that there won't be real elections. There won't be elections. And I guess we'll look at the map that I have up on the screen. That maybe they're just going through the motions of all this, and it's not really going to happen. Because if you look at Trump and Biden, so once again, how did Biden come all the way from the bottom of the pack, or close to the bottom? And you had Barry Sanders, Elizabeth Warren, I think even Kamala Harris had better numbers than him. And you had Pete Buttigieg. Pete Buttigieg dropped out before Super Tuesday. And if you don't know who he is, he's the mayor in Indiana, in a small town, I think South Bend, I think it was. Anyways, and he's gay. So he was rumored to be like one of the top runners. So why would he just drop out? Was he offered millions of dollars? Was he promised a vice presidency? Well, we know that's not true, because Biden's asking or looking for a female VP. So why would he drop out? That doesn't make any sense. Barry Sanders, he was a front runner. Why would he drop out? Elizabeth Warren, she was kind of up there too. So why would she drop out? And then who cares about Kamala Harris? But how is it that Biden moved all the way from the bottom of the pack to the top of the pack? How is that? It wasn't out of skill. It was because he was meant to be placed there. And I don't believe in a democracy anymore. I vote. I'm a Trump supporter. I don't believe that Trump is the same guy I voted for in 2016. I think something's going on with that. He also tweeted about he won't wear a mask because of the whole control thing and mechanism and slavery and all this other stuff. So, but I think he was at Walter Reed Hospital, and he and all of his generals were wearing masks. He looked very disgusted and disappointed. So somebody above him, we know that there's a deep state or an upper, the Antichrist, whatever, is telling him, hey, you got to do this. He doesn't look happy. He looks very defeated. So therefore, that tells us that this is all going to be permanent. And there were some other channels I watched, they had pop-up mask stores for designer masks. They had these devices you put your foot into and it covers your whole foot. Hand sanitizer, door openers, all that. But they're literally popping up like, you know, I wouldn't say like Starbucks, but they're popping up as like chains. Look it up, man. It's true. It's fact. So when they start putting out designer masks and all this other stuff, that tells you this is going to be permanent. This isn't, and I know hi baby, I love you. Hi mom, I love you. And I got to do a shout out to my cousin Dan because he said he was boycotting my videos until I shouted out to him. So, but anyways, I know my wife doesn't like to hear this, but this is the new norm. Sorry. But this isn't going anywhere. This is staying on track, man. And then you got Trump with the warp speed vaccinations coming out in August or September. So that tells you something's happening. So now they're saying that this touches on a bunch of subjects, and I know I jump around a lot, and I apologize. But like I said, think about why the governors and the mayors aren't worried about re-election. There won't be one. So that's pretty scary. Because if I like the governor in South Dakota, I don't know her name, but obviously she would be reelected because I was just in South Dakota. I picked up in Leeds, South Dakota, going over to a Cottage Grove, Minnesota, a generator. And there's another cool fact about Leeds, South Dakota is in the Black Hills, and here's a fun fact for you, or a history fact. So America had told the Native Americans they could have, it was already their land anyways, the Black Hills, but you could keep it, they said. But then when General Custer found gold there, they took it back. The United States government took it back and shit on the Indians again. Or the Native Americans, sorry. But I was talking to this electrical engineer over there, this young man, I forgot his name, but he had told me that Leeds, South Dakota had the largest amount of oil in the entire West. And he said that this company he works for is a tunnel rehabilitation company. So they're down there rehabilitating or fixing all the mine shafts. And so that's why they need engineers over there. So he had told me that, because we started talking about CERN, and if you don't know what CERN is, look it up. It's in Switzerland. It's the largest machine in the world, like a mile long or something like that. Anyways, they push neutrons and protons or what. I'm not that guy, but anyways, I guess a place in Chicago called Fermi Lab, and that's my ex. She works there, and so they're doing a CERN project from Chicago, or in Chicago, that actually is going to communicate with another device in Leeds, South Dakota. That's why this company's there. So it's gonna, and I said, so would they go up in the air? That he says, no, it's underground. It literally shoots some sort of beam or something underground, and actually from Chicago to Leeds, South Dakota. That's what they're working on. So they're gonna flood the tunnels after they're done repairing them. I don't know what that's all about, but this is all fact, man. I'm not. Why would I make this up? So that's pretty interesting. So, and I was telling Sarah, my wife, if when you had the nuclear bombs in Hiroshima and Nagasaki, you know, those nuclear bombs were huge, devastating. You know, hundreds of thousands of people died. Cities obliviated, just leveled. I don't know the size of the crater that the actual bomb created, but that's a lot of energy. Well, from Leeds, South Dakota from Chicago, Illinois to Leeds, South Dakota, I'd have to grab my other phone and Google it. But Google the distance from Chicago to Leeds, South Dakota, underground. And it's not like they're following tunnels, he said. He said they're literally shooting a straight line from one place, from point A to point B. Well, what kind of power does that thing have when it's penetrating all the miles and miles, hundreds of miles, underground, through the ground? So what kind of power does it have? If a nuclear explosion only creates a crater X amount of, a half a mile or however deep it was by how the radius of it was, what kind of power does this CERN thing have? Anyways, it's off subject, but anyways, so Here's a little fun fact for you about General Custer, or a fact. I don't know if it's fun fact for the Native Americans, but anyways. So back to the governors and the mayors. Governors and mayors are not worried about re-election. I've already said that, I know. But why? They're doing a second wave. They're shutting everything down again. They're committing political suicide, but they don't seem to care. Well, when you're a governor, don't you go into office and go for re-election so you can continue winning? You get a salary. You get a state-owned house. I know the Seattle mayor. I believe she lives in like a little over a $7 million mansion in wherever that is located in Seattle. So they have a very nice crib, right? And they have a salary and they have protection and they have, little perks and all this stuff. So why wouldn't you want? I wouldn't want to be that. I've been chosen to serve, not to govern. But so that asks you. So it's a kind of a cush living job with security and limos and everything else and flights, and so why wouldn't you want to be reelected if you went up? So, but if you're not worried about being reelected because you've already committed political suicide, what is that telling all of us? Something's not adding up. So something big is coming. It's got to be. We'll look at the map when the re-elections are. They're in November. It's called the gubernatorial elections. GUBERNATORIAL. Gubernatorial elections. Anyways, so why is that? Then you have Biden that went all the way to the top, and now he's the choice for the left, right? How is that? There's more and more reports coming out that they will not have a debate between Trump and Biden because they know Trump will annihilate the village idiot, right? He'll obliviate him. So, and it's not that just the Americans will see the debate. People around the world will have a debate. And then if you have a video, you have proof. And people can download and save these videos. And they can see with their own eyes and listen with their own ears that, hey, Joe Biden was just humiliated on stage by Trump. So the left is definitely, they're trying to avoid that by, screen just shut off, sorry, by not having a debate, because then people around the world would say, well, how did Biden win? Did you not see the debate? How did Biden win? Because that's their plan. So either one of two things. I mean, a lot of people have, talked about The Simpsons and how, they literally in one of their episodes, they showed Trump coming down the escalator when he was elected president at Trump Towers. How do you predict that? You can't predict him and his wife coming down the escalator at Trump Towers. Like literally, they had it in the episode. So what's going on with The Simpsons? Everybody says that's something with time travel or whatever. Well, they also had another Simpsons episode with Lisa Simpson sitting in what I assume to be the Oval Office, and she was talking to her little. I'm not a Simpsons fan, but so she's sitting in the Oval Office behind the desk, and there's a chart next to her, and her little friend with the glasses he's got his little pointer there or whatever. And she says, "Oh, Donald Trump really left us it was either a financial bind or a financial predicament or whatever." And I mentioned this in videos ago, but reiterating it now. So if you believe in The Simpsons kind of predict the future sort of thing. So then they're saying that obviously a woman is going to be, if everything they, like how do you predict Trump coming down the escalator at Trump Tower? How do you don't just pull that out of your hat. So, therefore, if you do believe in that and the Simpsons whole thing or whatever, I'm not going to base our life on our future on the Simpsons, but it's pretty intriguing, right? So you have Lisa Simpson talking about Donald Trump left us in a financial bind or crash, whatever, and you see the chart all the way at the bottom with the little zigzag lines, and so that's kind of concerning. So you're saying, okay, so the presidential election go one of two ways, according to The Simpsons. I know. So, but if you have a I personally don't think that Pence is going to be Trump's running mate. There's the former attorney general from Florida, I forget her name, but it's been rumored and that Trump is probably going to choose her for his VP. And I never really trusted Pence anyways. He's been a senator of Indiana for so many years. He's a seasoned politician. Those are the ones we really don't trust. And I don't really think Trump trusts him either. But what's the old saying? Keep your enemies close, or keep your friends close and your enemies closer, right? So there's been rumors of that he possibly could have a female VP. Well, if the Simpsons thing with Lisa Simpson, if that is the case, Trump wins, he gets assassinated. The lady VP now becomes president. The deep state says, if you don't want what Donald Trump got, then you need to follow our rules. There we go, we're screwed. Now, it seems like that Joe Biden is the one that they really want to win because he's a puppet. I mean, obviously the guy's got dementia or something, right? So then he wins, but if he has a female VP, then they charge him with the whole Ukraine thing, all this other stuff. He goes to jail, she takes hold. Or they knock him off and she... So either way, there's going to be a female VP, I believe. So if that is the case, then... And like I said, you guys are probably going to put in the comments, you're crazy, whatever. I'm just saying it's a theory, man. But anyways, it's an intriguing theory. So back to the governors and the mayors. So that tells you that something big is coming if the governors and the mayors aren't worried about re-election. And then, like I said, the presidential election, you have Joe Biden and Trump. They don't want that on the stage because, so back to the Biden thing. So if they are placing Biden in that position and it is set up for him to win, and you have a debate as proof, like, how did this guy win? How did this guy win? There's no way this guy won. Did you not see the debate? So there won't be a debate. Because then the world will have proof, like, how did this guy win? There's no possible way. And then the people that are actually, brainwashed by CNN and all these, and CSNBC, and they, that's all they listen to is that. And they get to see, oh my God, Biden really is he's lost his mind. So then they see it, and then everybody, and then they just prosecuted, or they just charged, and I think they end up, the mail carrier admitted that she was guilty or whatever. But anyways, somebody had a video of a postal worker taking mail-in ballots and literally dumping them into the dumpster. Look it up, it's fact. So that will, if with the second wave coming, they're going to shut down the polls and say, no, you guys can't go vote. You guys are going to have to do mail-in ballots. Well, then you're going to get what the postal worker just did. They're going to be dumping them in the dumpsters, and they're going to make up their own numbers. So, like I said, either Biden was placed there for a reason. We have to do mail-in ballots. He wins. Everybody says, well, Trump with the economy and with the this and with the that, that's why he lost. But if they see a debate, then they'll say, there's no way I'll vote for this guy. Did you not see the debate? So they can't have a debate. And then everybody comes in and says, okay, well, that's why Trump lost, because of the economy and the virus and this and that and everything else. So then people will swallow that and be like, okay, well, that makes sense. Unless there's a debate, which there won't be. So, governors and mayors, re-election ain't happening, so something big is coming. It only makes sense. Trump or Biden, either one wins. I believe a VP is going to step in their spot once they're eliminated. So we're screwed anyways. And then here's another interesting thing that's going on. So remember when Clinton was, the left was so positive and so cocky and so arrogant that, and she didn't even hit the heart. She didn't visit the states that were in question. She just took for granted she was going to win. And so did a lot of her supporters, right? But so they became so arrogant. No way Trump's going to win. No way he's going to win. He's not a politician. Hillary's got this locked. Well, there's these people that do these polls. They don't go off of the regular polls. They go off of the person that's running, or they go off of their base, I guess. While these people that are doing these numbers and these predictions, they're saying that Trump's got a 91% lock on winning. Well, if you go back in history, during 2016, all the Hillary supporters were way confident and way arrogant. There's no way she's going to lose. Well, what's happening to us Trump supporters? There's no way he's going to lose. He's got this locked. There's no way he'll lose to Biden. Just like they said about Clinton, there's no way Clinton will lose to Trump. Well, look what's happening on the right now. We're all saying there's no way Trump's going to lose to Biden. It only makes sense. So like I said, either one wins, we're screwed either way. We're screwed either way. It doesn't matter. We're done. So I don't know. So let's get to this map. So I'm sorry I was going off on a rant, but look at the facts, man. Look at the facts. So let's see if you guys can see that. Yep. All right. So you can see here it's an NGA, the National Governors Association elections in 2020. Gubernatorial elections will be held in 11 states and 2 territories with 10 incumbent governors eligible to run for re-election and 3 governors who are not eligible for not seeking re-election or not seeking re-election. Can you guys see that? Let me back this up a little bit. I'm trying to look over my phone. There we go. All right. Now, as you can see, the state colors, so on and so on. All this light purple area, there is right down here, no election happening. Then you have the like purple bluish 2020 incumbent governor term limited or not seeking re-election, and then these reddish I don't know what raspberry, I don't know what color that would be. Anyways, another form of purple. 2020 incumbent governor eligible for re-election. All right, and then of course you have Puerto Rico, and I think there was Samoa, I think it was. American Samoa, yep. So let's go to the top here. So, and this is, like I said, I didn't know this. Delaware, you can do 2 terms, maximum consecutive 2 terms, 2. Now, and then of course the length of regular terms is 4 years. But now they have Governor John Carney. Now, my question is, if you served for governor as 1 year and then you were defeated on a re-election, can you go back and try to serve again as a governor? Or is it like the president, once you serve, you serve? Because this is maximum consecutive terms. So I wonder if you can rerun if you lost on, after the 4 years. All right, Indiana. Their length of term is 4 years, maximum consecutive terms, 2. Missouri is maximum consecutive terms, 2. Montana is same thing, consecutive terms, 2. Then you have New Hampshire. New Hampshire, it says maximum consecutive terms, none. But the length of regular terms is only 2 years. But the maximum consecutive terms is none. Then you have North Carolina is 4 years, and then maximum consecutive terms, 2. North Dakota is none, I believe. Yep. Length of regular terms, 4 years, maximum consecutive terms, none. Utah, same thing, none. Vermont, same thing, none. Washington, same thing, none. West Virginia is two consecutive terms. And then in Samoa, you have 4 years, maximum consecutive terms, 2. Puerto Rico, you have none. Your regular terms are 4 years. So that's pretty interesting. Now, now let's go up here to the top. Okay. So all the places that aren't up for re-election are, well, of course, New York. So you got de Blasio and Cuomo. So obviously they're not worried about re-election. PA, same thing. They're in lockdown. You have New Mexico. Yep, New Mexico. I've been to all lower 48 states, I think, except for Maine. But anyways, you have all these areas. Oregon, they're not worried about re-election. Gavin Newsom in California, he's not worried about re-election. Now, and then you had Nevada with the Vegas closing down and everything. So all these governors are not worried about re-election. They're just not. And the mayors, I don't know. We'll have to look into the mayors. But anyway, so these are the only states, these darker ones, all the light purple are not re-election. They're not worried about, there's no election going on right now. So now it says, I believe it's in November. We'd have to click into something else. But anyways, it gets kind of boring, so I wouldn't worry. But like I said, so these governors and mayors are not worried about re-election. Now let's see what, let's see. I'm going to type with one finger here, so excuse me. Mayoral re-election map. Let's see if they have one. Images of mayoral re-election map. All right, cool. Oh. All right, 2020 election prediction map. Ooh, that's a lot. Holy cow. Oof. No, I don't think that's going to work. All right, so let's do... Mayor election results. Who won? No, Atlanta Mayor Keisha Lance Bottom to run for second term. Buckeyes election results. De Blasio wins second term as New York, but that was in 2017, so they're not up for re-election in 2021 because De Blasio was elected on December 20th, 2017. Who's running for New York City? Okay, we don't need that. Okay, so it looks like I'm sorry guys, who was running for Miami-Dade County Mayor in 2020? So it looks like the same thing with cities, and obviously it would make sense because so many country or so many states joined the union after a certain time, and then obviously cities were created and so on. So let's see, city of who was running for Miami-Dade County Mayor in 2020. All right, let's just look at this real quick. It's stealthy now, but the 2020 race for Miami-Dade mayor is about to get crowded. So it looks like they are having a 2020 mayoral race in Dade County. Now, so like I said, I don't really know, and I'm not going to pretend to know what the... not going to pretend to know what I don't know. So, but once again... I mean, so if you have other states that are not worried, because obviously their re-elections are in 2021, it's not going to go that far, unfortunately. So, like I said, they've all committed political suicide. So I don't, and for what reason? I mean, you don't think that that they don't make strategic moves throughout their whole entire office or administration, they don't, or their election term or whatever. You don't think that this goes through their head every day? Or every week they have to sign something or go over something. You don't think that somebody's in their ear all the time saying, "I don't know if I would do that." Your what do they call them? Your constituents, they won't like that, and it's going to hurt your reelection. So you don't think that all this is hurting their reelection? Then you're fucking crazy, because it has. And obviously if they were all up for reelection. Or if they want to renew or get reelected, you would think that somebody comes up to you and says, "Hey man, you got to close down your whole entire state or your city," and then the governor backs the mayor, whatever the case is. So the mayor is going to call the governor and say, "Man, if I do this, I'm probably not going to get reelected. Man, if I do this, I'll never get reelected." And the governors are the same way. If I do this, I will never be reelected. So then you just defeated the whole purpose why you run for office. Now, if it were a state that you can only serve 2 consecutive terms, okay, that's one thing. You're like, who cares, But so either way, they don't really care, because if you're a governor, like I said, I don't know how the mayoral works, but I would assume it's almost the same way, that you can run as many terms as. Well, obviously, I don't know. Anyways, just go ahead and Google it. I mean, I'm just bringing up the subject. Hey, listen, you got to think about this stuff, and I'm not. I got other things to do. But I figure I just plant the seed in your guys' head to start doing your own research in the city and the state where you live, and see if those people are up for re-election. Like I said, if it's a 2-year term, who cares? If you're on your second term, I'll let the next governor worry about it, or I'll let the next mayor worry about it, and then from there, then whatever the case is. But now, if you have a state or a city where there is no maximum length of terms, then you're saying, I don't care, because there's not going to be an election. There's not going to be one. Why would I care? Anyways, I've beat it up enough, and I'm rambling, and repeating myself like a crazy Joe Biden. So, or not making sense at all like Joe Biden. So, anyways, that's about it. I'm gonna go out to the shop. I got to do another coat on those fairings, and then Sarah and I are going camping this weekend. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. No, I'm sorry, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and come back Sunday. So we're actually going to do some like underground camping, like, you know, not underground, but we're going to do just a tent. Not, you know, we're going to brush our teeth with charcoal. We're not going to use toothpaste. Dig a Dakota fire hole, go and see nature. Kind of rough it a little bit, and then we're going to do some videos on it. So anyways, I hope this video finds you well. Please like and subscribe to the channel. Ciao.